Hey everybody, this is Benny, and this is an Icarus Myths and Legends Episode 1 follow-up video. I had a bunch of comments in both the video's comments section and on Reddit having to do with the cargo pod mass destruction myth. A lot of veteran players rightly pointed out that the current myth about cargo pods being so destructive likely came from confusion between the drop pod and the cargo pod. To be clear, the cargo pod is the little guy you call down with the orbital exchange interface, and the drop pod is the big one you ride down on from the station. Now, in the past, I do remember the drop pod being much more destructive, but I haven't tested it or experienced it recently, and I've heard that a somewhat recent patch has made it less destructive. So let's see what happens. I grabbed a couple of these dropship recall beacons off the orbital exchange, and I'm just gonna toss one of these down here as close as I can to the middle of this little test village that I've built here. These launch a flare up into the air, and then wherever your drop pod is, it launches back up into orbit and then drops back down on your location, or the location of the flare. So these are pretty easily directed to where you want them to land. So really, if one lands in the middle of your base, that's kind of on you, unless you just happen to be in the, unlucky enough to have built your base in the actual drop zone where you drop down as a new player, and it just happened to be in the spot where that pod is going to land, which has never happened to me before. Here it comes. Whoa! Mass destruction. So what we had over here was cement and aluminum. And we could see that, what do we got in the overflow bag here? That's a window. Windows are fine. They didn't get damaged at all. We have a crafting bench that I had, or that was a alteration bench. Door. Another door from this structure over here, which lost its floor. So extremely destructive to call these in to the middle of your base. Drying rack's fine. Huh? I would have thought that was well within the blast radius. And I lost the plant out of that planter, but not the planter. Are you going to cause me a problem, buddy? And doesn't look like the composter took any damage. And so as you can see, absolute destruction from this little mini base I built here. You don't want these things landing in the middle of your base, anywhere near your structures. It doesn't matter if it's concrete or what it's made out of, it's gone. So don't do that. And then I'm guessing it's going to do damage again once it launches up. I don't know if I have anything in here that I can deploy to put close to it here. Well, let's see here. So I built a wall. I don't think it's going to matter either way, but I built a wall right next to the drop pod here, and I'm just going to go ahead and summon this drop pod to another location so that we can see what happens when it takes off. Is it going to do more damage again when it takes off? The answer is no. It's not taking off that's a problem. It's when it lands. So there you have it. Probably the origination of the myth that the cargo pods are going to do mass damage to your structures is confusion with the drop pod and the dangers it poses to your base. The nice thing is with the drop pod, you can determine where the drop pod is going to land when you throw these recall beacons down. So just be careful where you're throwing them. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Benny out.